Welcome to Fortune Cookies Tarot. We were all waiting for it. This is the longest divorce ever. Brad and Angelina finally came to terms on their split. We're going to be talking about the split and the aftermath and what they can do to live their best lives. We'll be right back. Welcome back, Tarot fam. So we are going to be talking about Brad and Angelina in this video. They first met in 2003 when Brad was still married to Jennifer. There was a lot of brouhaha about that back in the day. So it's questionable whether he left her because of Angelina or if the marriage was already in disrepair before that. But nonetheless, the world was split. There were Team Jen, Team Angelina t-shirts. I was Team Angelina myself. I did like her very, very much. You know, it's always nice to have a dark lady come to the fore. I think she's incredibly beautiful. I think she is unmatched in terms of talent, as I think for Brad Pitt too. I have been a Brad Pitt fan since the minute he showed up in Thelma and Louise, and me and all my girlfriends went, "Who is that cowboy? Who is that cowboy?" So it was very, very. I thought they were going to be the happily ever after, like this crazy Hollywood couple, but apparently it got too crazy. And after 6 kids and some DV incidents, they decided to call it quit. Now, I do think that there's been some petty incidents, specifically around Miraval, the joint vineyard that they own in France. Beautiful property. You can see pictures of it. You can see some evidence of it. I believe they were married there. That was another thing. Her wedding dress, she had all the pictures that the kids had drawn embroidered into the I think it was the veil. So what a great idea. What a creative, amazing couple, and what a beautiful couple, beautiful children. So they're finally divorced. They drag their feet. I do believe that the Russian oligarch still owns part of Miraval. I don't think that that's been resolved, and I do believe that that is still ongoing, but that the marriage has officially been dissolved. So let's see how the two of them are doing. Ladies first. We'll do Angelina first. But before I do that, please like, share, and subscribe. And let me know what you think. Are you Team Angelina? Or are you Team Brad? Or are you Team Jen? Like, are you back Schadenfreude with Jen? We're going to bring up that card view now. I hope you guys are having a great day and a great start to 2025. So let's start with Angelina. How is she feeling at the moment with this finalized divorce? Freedom. The Tower, 7 of Pentacles, the Hermit in reverse, 5 of Swords, Queen of Pentacles up top, Page of Wands. You know, even if she was somewhat petty. Oh, and we're using the Pulp Tarot. There is a link, an Amazon link in the description of this video if you'd like to get this deck for yourself. It's an affiliate link. I will get a fee or commission if you do purchase through this link at no extra charge to you. So the Tower is really looking at the situation as, I hate to say situational, but it was situational. This is something that happened to her and to them to a certain extent. I do think that, spiritually, she thinks that this was a karmic lesson. Having such an intense, fiery relationship. There was an anecdotal story about them at a resort, I believe in Africa, that the police were called because their pre-children nocturnal exercises sounded like something terrible was happening, and someone called the police. How embarrassing. But I think that level of intensity, and I do think that both of them are fairly intense people. You cannot become an actor, you cannot be that proficient at your craft if you are not a super, super intense person. So I think that they really did look at this, or she is looking at it as something that has happened to them. The Seven of Pentacles, she is looking backward and deciding that she is better on her own. I don't know if that's a great decision. She is surrounded by her children. They have 6 children. But I do think that she feels she can get more accomplished without a partner. Um, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. Like when you're a regular plebeian like us, maybe that's a bad thing because you want someone to care for you in your old age. But when you're a multimillionaire, you can afford to hire people to take care of you. So, what's the diff here? So, there is still some fight in her, and I do think that that's in relation to the situation with Miraval. That they're still going to be fighting over that. And I think in the end, she is going to give him her part. I think she's going to work out a deal with that oligarch and undo that sale. I don't know if he can do that and pass that over to Brad Pitt. There was some discrepancy about that, and I do think it was kind of petty because he had offered to buy half of it, and she said no, the price wasn't right, and then she sold it off to this oligarch. She will be taking a pause after this. There's a little bit of a pause here. 10 of Swords, she needs to kind of rest her head for a little bit. When you're going through divorce, when you're going through a real estate litigation, which is really what the Miraval situation is, you do need to kind of rest your head easy for a little bit. So I think she will be resting her head. At least that's the prescription for this, because under the surface, she's kind of burnt out on the whole thing. So I can understand if we're not going to see her anytime soon. I have not seen the Maria Callas movie. I don't know if that's released yet, but she plays Maria Callas, which I think is amazing. I am a huge Maria Callas fan, and I'm very curious to see how she handles the role. I've always said that I think Angelina Jolie is a great singer. I think somewhere in her, she is a great singer. She has that same Freddie Mercury, Carly Simon built mouth. Her mouth is built the same way. And I think that there's something that gives you projection from that. I am a trained singer myself. Not that I'm singing today with this stupid cold, but let's see what Angelina can do moving forward to live her best life, because that's really what this is about. I have a number of haters in my chat that are like, oh, you're so negative. You are just a meanie. And I'm really not. Like, I may start out my readings with, these people kind of made some bad moves, but I always try and find that yellow brick road and try and say, I'm not wishing ill on anyone. I want to make that clear. So, what can she do to live her best life with this pulp tarot? I love this deck. So we've got the Lovers in reverse, which is breaking up businesses. For me, the Lovers card is usually a business venture, a business association, a business arrangement, a contract, that kind of thing. Break the contract. It doesn't matter if she doesn't have much to show for that at the end, or if she is disrupting any kind of covenant that she has made with someone. I don't mean that in any kind of a shady way, but this will enable her to kind of go off into the distance and lick her wounds and maybe shed some of the bad habits that she has developed as a result of the marriage. She needs to nurture that broken heart. If you look at the pictures of them together, when she looks at him, she really does. She looks at him the way that you want someone to look at you when they're in love with you. She just is like excited and exhilarated and charged by him. So, having that all for naught, I think is very sad. And I think it's very hard for her to reconcile that. So I think she does need some time to do that. Perhaps there is a role that will help her work out the emotion on that. under the surface, she needs to remember the good times. No relationship is totally worthless. There is always something that you come away. Sometimes it's a lesson, sometimes it's a broken heart, sometimes it's sometimes it's a fancy car, house, and a big rock on in your ring that you stick in a safe for a rainy day. There's always something that you come out of a relationship with. There are lessons that the people in our lives teach us always. So let's see how Mr. William Brad Pitt is doing. His first name is William. Don't like that. He's a Brad. Oh, Brad. So now he has moved on with another individual. He is dating. We've seen him with a lady on his arm. And I think that he is trying to throw himself into writing, production, things behind the scenes in Hollywood, being more of a puppet master. I hate to say puppet master, but being more of the production side of it and not necessarily getting in front of that camera. And I'm not sure that's not like an age thing for him. It's more of a control thing. He wants to be able to create the universe rather than be introduced to the universe, if that makes sense to you guys. We have some conflict here, getting out of the conflict. This is almost like a post-traumatic kind of response here. Not able to kind of find his footing, not sure. There's a lot of insecurity on his part for the PR that he's looking at. He doesn't want to be seen as the bad guy. There was all that PR about that airplane ride, said he, DV'd with the son, and now the sons don't talk to him. It's like a whole thing. And then Shiloh changed her name. I think trying to find his footing is very difficult. And I think his instinct with the children is to initially extend himself. And then when they don't respond, in the manner that he would like them to, he gets very frustrated. I think he gets very upset and very short. And it's just, I feel terrible about this. The best thing I can say is that he needs to keep trying with them and not fall into this pattern of flaring up and then pulling back, flaring up and pulling back. It's just it's a difficult pattern, and it exhibits inconsistency to the kids. I know that he's feeling it. There's a lot of wands here, a lot of emotion, a lot of excitement, and a lot of passion. He feels very strongly about the things that he is saying and doing. He needs to calm himself, find his center, and find the best words to get across to the kids. With that moon in reverse up top, he really is laying himself bare for them. And I think that that's a level of frustration that's going on here. While he is involved with someone, the focus of trying to repair that relationship with the kids is on and off, on and off, on and off because of their response. So what's the best thing he can do moving forward? What is the best thing he can do moving forward? Finding that yellow brick road. 9 of Cups. He has to understand that he is not the winner in this. The Sun in reverse, the 9 of Wands there. He needs to retreat a little bit too. 2 of Cups and 5 of Cups. Up top, we've got the Ace of Swords. I think he's on the right track with getting involved more so in the production, writing, the creation of the universes. I think he is onto something there. Don't get me wrong. I'm sorry. I've got a hair right here, guys. It's right in my face. Don't get me wrong. He is a delight to see on the screen. I love him. Interview with the Vampire is one of my favorite movies. True Romance, where he plays the stoned roommate, is hilarious. He's great in that. I really do think that he is a tremendous talent. I think he's amazing. And I would love to see him in all kinds of movies. But I do think that he wants to be more than that pretty boy actor, more than someone who's putting on a costume and moving forward Louis the vampire or whomever. I think he really does, that hot cowboy from Thelma and Louise. I really do think he wants to have more substance. He wants to have more behind his name, when the fullness of time arrives. I think he wants to have, he created this movie, and I do believe that he still has a studio that he had established with Jennifer Aniston. And there is something very interesting that's going to go on in Hollywood. I think we're going to see more of these independent studios popping up and production coming out of those. I think it's very interesting. I think Ryan Reynolds is going to have a big hand in that, starting to do like these almost cottage industry film projects. So there'll be independent films, but they're not going to be low budget independent films, if that makes sense. But anyway, I digress. So I do think that there is a level of sadness. He has to look at the good things that come in. When we get that 5 of Cups, yeah, if this relationship breaks up, because this 2 of Cups is coming apart. So I don't know if this is coming apart with the kids or coming apart with the marriage. He's got to honor the end of this marriage, and he's got to look toward the future for the good things. Here, writing his own script for life and literally in the industry, I think is a great way for him to go. He can still act, obviously, duh, and he can still produce or write at the same time. He can do both of those things. But this unluckiness, this unfortunate situation, he's got to not look at it like, well, this was a 20-year mistake, 21-year mistake. It wasn't. It just was a situation that kind of burned out. It burned very brightly and burned out very quickly. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm a fan of both of them. I don't want to see either of them punished or do poorly, nor Jennifer Aniston, since I did bring her up. So I want to see everybody live their best life. So I hope you enjoyed this. Again, please like, share, subscribe, consider becoming a member. And if you want your own magical reading, you can book one down at the link below. So hope to see some of you on my schedule, and I will see you guys in the future.